The lake had no name on most maps. Locals simply called it Blackwater Lake. Hidden deep within a forest, it was surrounded by old legends and strange stories. People claimed the water was bottomless. Others said voices could sometimes be heard beneath the surface at night. Most visitors ignored the tales. Ethan Parker didn't. As a photographer who loved exploring forgotten places, he was always searching for unusual locations. When he heard about Blackwater Lake, curiosity brought him there immediately. The lake looked peaceful. Crystal clear water reflected the surrounding trees. Birds sang overhead. Nothing seemed unusual. That changed the moment Ethan went swimming. The water was colder than expected. As he floated near the center of the lake, something caught his attention below. A dark shape. At first he assumed it was a rock. Then the sunlight shifted. The object became clear. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. A wooden door stood upright on the lake bed. Not lying down. Not buried. Standing perfectly vertical, as though attached to an invisible wall. He rubbed his eyes. The door remained there. Weathered wood. Rusty metal handle. Ancient iron hinges. Everything looked real. Impossible, but real. Ethan dove downward. The deeper he swam, the stranger the door appeared. It stood completely alone. No building. No ruins. Nothing connected to it. Just a single door beneath the water. A sudden feeling of unease forced him back to the surface. Breathing heavily, he returned to shore. That night, he couldn't stop thinking about what he had seen. How could a door exist at the bottom of a lake? And why did it feel as though something on the other side was waiting? The next morning, he returned with diving equipment and underwater cameras. He intended to document everything, to prove the impossible door existed. As he prepared to dive, he noticed something disturbing. Fresh footprints covered the muddy shore. Someone else had visited the lake during the night. The tracks led directly into the water, but none came back out. Ethan entered the lake shortly before sunset. The water felt colder than the previous day, almost unnatural. As he descended, the door slowly emerged from the darkness below. It looked exactly the same, except for one detail. The door was slightly open, only a few inches, but Ethan was certain it had been closed before. A cold chill ran through his body. Nobody could have opened it. Nobody should have even known it existed. Yet there it was, waiting. Gathering his courage, Ethan swam closer. The gap widened slowly, as though the door itself was moving. Then he saw something impossible. Beyond the opening wasn't water. It was darkness. A long corridor stretched behind the doorway. Dry, silent, impossible. The hallway looked like the interior of an old building. Not a flooded ruin. Not an underwater cave. A real hallway. His mind struggled to understand what he was seeing. Then a light appeared deep inside the corridor. A faint glow. Moving closer. Step by step. Something was walking toward the doorway. Ethan froze. His breathing became rapid. The glow continued approaching. Closer. Closer. Suddenly, he realized the light wasn't floating. Someone was carrying a lantern. A human-shaped silhouette emerged from the darkness. Tall. Thin. Motionless. Standing just inside the corridor. Watching him, the figure raised one arm slowly, then pointed deeper into the hallway, as if inviting him inside. Panic overwhelmed Ethan. He turned and swam toward the surface. Behind him, the door remained open, and somewhere below, the lantern continued glowing in the darkness. That night, Ethan barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the doorway, the corridor, the lantern, the figure waiting inside. Reason told him never to return. Curiosity told him otherwise. The following evening, he came back one final time. The lake was completely still. No wind. No birds. No sounds. Even the forest seemed silent, as though the entire area was waiting. Ethan entered the water. The door stood open wider than before. This time he noticed something else. Handprints. Dozens of them. Pressed against the wood. Some looked fresh. Others appeared decades old. He swam closer. The corridor beyond remained unchanged. Then movement caught his eye. The lantern figure was gone. Instead, another shape appeared. A hand. Pale. Human. Emerging slowly from the darkness. The hand waved. Not aggressively. Not threateningly. Almost welcoming. Then more hands appeared. 1, 2, 5, 10. Reaching from the shadows. Beckoning him forward. Ethan's fear finally defeated his curiosity. He turned and swam away as fast as possible. The moment he reached the shore, a deep sound echoed across the lake, like a massive door slamming shut. He looked back. The water was calm. Nothing remained. Days later, he returned with a team of divers. The door had vanished. No trace remained on the lake bed. No photographs survived. No video footage worked. Every file had somehow become corrupted. Nobody believed his story. Years passed. Blackwater Lake remained quiet. Yet local fishermen still tell a strange tale. Sometimes, just after sunset, a wooden door can be seen beneath the water. And if you stare long enough, you might notice a lantern glowing in the darkness beyond it, waiting for someone curious enough to step through.